Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're now talking soccer with head women's soccer coach Lars Anderson. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's get viewers caught up on your team so far this season. The Braves are now 2-0-1 through 3 games this year, including wins over Queens and Georgia Southwestern, as well as a tie on the road to number 10 Wingate. Give us your thoughts on the team overall so far this year.
Well, it's obviously a small sampling, but I'm pretty pleased with where we're at so far. We beat Queens 3-0, as you said, at home. They were a 10-win team last year, and I think had very high aspirations this year. Still do, I'm sure. And then we go to Wingate. We took an injury to one of our key players early in that game, and we were still trying to get some of our other injured players back. So we were a little short-handed in that game, and we ended up with a 1-1 draw on the road to number 10 in the country. And at one point in the game, we were actually down a goal. So I think we showed a lot of resilience in that game. And then obviously we go on the road and beat Georgia Southwestern. Yes, I know the score was a little lopsided, but as I've stated many times before, I do believe the Peach Belt, top to bottom, is the best Division II women's soccer conference in the nation. And 3 points on the road is 3 points on the road after all. So far so good. Lots of soccer left to be played, and obviously we have some really big games coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but we're off to a good start.
Well, you've shown a lot of depth through your first 3 games, with 9 different players registering at least 1 goal and 3 others who've gotten on the board with assists. What type of luxury is that for you as a coach, and how will that factor into the rest of your season?
Well, that's tremendously important. I'm hoping that we can ride this goal-scoring success for the remainder of the season, obviously. And I think in the last 2 or 3 years, we've relied very heavily on 1 or 2 players to score our goals. And we, as a coaching staff, have talked about how we got to get more production out of our midfielders. We got to get more 3 goal scorers, 4 goal scorers, 5 goal scorers, and then you got to have your front runners who put in anywhere from 8 to 15 goals this season. I think that's going to be a lot more successful than relying on 1 or maybe 2 players. We even got a goal from Julie Fisher. I know at the time that she scored, she was actually playing as an outside left mid against Wingate, and that was a huge goal. It was an equalizing goal about 2 minutes after we gave up a goal. Julie is by trade a left back, and we threw her in and played her as a left outside mid, and she scored an absolutely beauty of a goal. And I think that's a good sign for the future, that we're getting production out of players who aren't necessarily used to scoring that many goals. But certainly it's a luxury, and we hope we can continue to play this way.
Well, looking in goal, you have junior Janae Aiken, who was last week's PBC Goalkeeper of the Week and has allowed just 1 goal in 245 minutes between the posts this year. What has she meant to the success of your team so far?
A tremendous bit. This has been a long time coming for Janae, and I couldn't be happier for her. She was a backup goalkeeper for a number of years. She even sat out of soccer for a year, and she is now finally our starting goalkeeper. She is obviously very tall. She's 5'11", so she wins a lot of balls in the air. She's great on corners. She's great on free kicks. She has full command of her box, but she's very unusual for a tall keeper in that she's a great shot stopper, and she is very good at the collapse save, balls low to the ground, in close to the body. She's very agile. She's very athletic, and she has quick and nimble feet for a tall goalkeeper, which is very unusual. She is truly a very, very talented keeper and gives us a lot of comfort playing back there.
Well, you kind of hit on this in the first question I asked you, but you're coming off of a 10-1 win at Georgia Southwestern in your PBC opener on Saturday. What kinds of things do you learn about your team in runaway games like that, and how important is it for you to get a road win against a league opponent?
Well, again, a road win is always important. A road win in the PBC is crucial if you want to be there at the end and you want to get in the conference tournament. You hope to win the the regular season. You want to win the conference tournament. It's important to get those games in the PBC, to get those points in the PBC, I should say. But I think there's a lot to be learned even from a lopsided win like that. You have to stay composed. You have to stay professional. You can't lose your temper, even though the opponent might get a little frustrated when they're losing by that many goals. But I thought we showed a lot of character in that game. And again, it was great to see all of the healthy players that we brought on the bus played in that game, every single one of them. So yeah, a lot to be learned, and now we can look forward to our next game.
Well, speaking on that, you're going to play Catawba on Wednesday. What have they shown you so far, and what are you going to prepare your team to do in these upcoming days before the before the match?
Well, Catawba's 4-0. They're number 14 in the country. And as I said earlier, if you don't enjoy playing tough opponents, why play college ball? We're excited. We've played number 10 in the country. This is an opportunity to play number 14 in the country. They're a high-quality team. Last year, they beat us 1-0 in overtime. So we certainly look forward to this challenge. They're a great team, and they'll present a very worthy opponent for our second game here at Varsity Grounds.
Well, thank you, Coach, so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report presented by Pepsi. Until next week, go Braves.